Well, hey y'all, today I am doing lasagna. I can say I know it's not authentic, it's not even probably even close, but it is delicious. So the rest is just details. I'm never going to claim to be an authentic Italian cook. I do know authentic Mexican, but I am authentic and delicious. So let's get moving. This is approximately 2 pounds, 2¼ pounds of ground beef. I'm probably not going to use it all because I'm only doing a 9x13. My mom used to use about 2 pounds, but it was like the 80, I think 80/20. And this is the 93% lean ground beef. And I did just take this out of the freezer just a little bit ago, so it's not completely thawed. You can take it straight from the fridge, or you can take it, I have taken some ground beef, taken it straight out the freezer and started to fry it up, because in time it will thaw, obviously. I'm just going to kind of keep it like this and just keep on turning this huge hunk that is obviously still solid. I'm going to just keep on getting it and taking off the parts that are getting thawed and or cooked, and so that it can break up sooner. And this right now, I have this burner on approximately the 7, which is like medium high, but you can do this as low or as high of a temperature as you like. But I'm gonna just fry this up, and once it's fried, I will be back. Next in my process, I'm going to combine, here I have low-fat cottage cheese. I have often used regular cottage cheese. It can be either. And after probably 20 years or so of making this, which is sad that it took me that long to figure this out, but I actually figured this part out. I am combining these. This is cottage cheese. You could probably use ricotta. I have not used ricotta because I learned with cottage cheese, but nothing wrong with it. I know that it's similar enough that they are interchangeable. A lot of people use ricotta in their lasagna. And then, I am not going to claim that this is completely homemade because I ain't that crazy. I love garlic, so I'm using the roasted garlic sauce. I used to use the Prego. It's roasted garlic and herbs. I've often used that one in the past. But this one, since it has no added sugar, that's the reason I'm using this one. Just dumping that all in there. I promise you it will make life easier in the long run. Then I'm going to mix that up. Now that we've got that done, I'm going to just do a thin, somewhat thin layer here on the bottom of my 9x13 pan. It does not have to be completely covered, but you want it mostly covered. Next layer is going to be your beef that you've already fried up. You can make this layer obviously as thick or as thin as you desire. Next is going to be your cheese. This is where my style of doing this differs somewhat from my family. They don't do the cheese as thick as I do, but I'm like, if it's not almost cheese more than it is pasta, it's just not the same. Needs lots and lots and lots and lots of cheese. Now the cheddar, this isn't necessary for it to be as thick as that mozzarella. I just want it to be kind of like a complement rather than a main flavor. The next part, I always use the Barilla oven ready lasagna. It's not necessary. You can boil your own pasta beforehand, but why? Honestly. And I have tried other types of oven ready lasagna, and it was not fully cooked once I took it out of the oven. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is what I stick with. And you can just layer that as you like. I am way too much of an OCD. Now, this is certainly not pretty per se, but it works. Because once this pasta is getting served, ain't nobody gonna notice if it was broken or not. Then after this, we're gonna do this same layer 2 more times. And then on the third layer, it will be slightly different, but not much. You want it to be easy enough that, or enough that it will spread easily without being too thick, because I have found out if you put too much in here, it's going to become soupy. And we're not looking for lasagna soup, we're looking for lasagna. Now we're going to do this same exact layering, exactly what I just did before, and then I'll be right back. This is the last layer. I'm just going to kind of cover it with just the tomato sauce instead of the tomato sauce with the cottage cheese, just because it looks prettier. I learned the vanity from my mama. I'm just kind of trying to cover each of these noodles because they are not pre-cooked. I'm trying to make sure that they don't dry up with the heat of the oven. So I'm trying to make sure that all of them have at least a little bit of this sauce on them. And I'm going to try to cover them quite well with the cheese. You will see that in just a moment. And there we go with that. That is the only difference in between this layer and the rest of them. And then I guess you can say that probably on this layer I put quite a bit more cheese even than the other layers, because I believe I already said, and if I didn't, I love lots and lots of cheese. And just like before, the last step is cheese. And whatever's not covered up by that mozzarella, I'm going to try to get with the cheddar. And that's all there is to it. The oven is at 350 and it needs 30 minutes in the oven. If you're using the oven ready pasta, you're going to definitely want it to stay in there for that full half hour. Everything is cooked, but that pasta will not be completely cooked. It's going to still taste somewhat raw if you don't leave it in there for the full half hour. Otherwise, that's it. You pull it out and you serve it. I mean, it doesn't really take much brains to figure that part out. So I hope that this video has been helpful. If you didn't know how to make a good lasagna, I know that there's plenty of people that do, so I'm not going to pretend that I have the corner on the market in great recipes, but at the same time, I know that it's delicious, even if it's not authentic. So I hope it's been helpful, and I hope that if you like this video, you'll hit the like button, hit subscribe, and enjoy the rest of the videos that I have on my channel if you so desire. And otherwise, just have a delicious day.